Ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our next session. We have with us Mr. Gunjan Issar, Regional Manager, BFSI, Data Protection Solution, Dell Technologies. Please get your hands together as Mr. Issar joins us on stage. The topic is Proven and Modern Architecture for Data Protection for BFSI Industry.
So, good morning, and I had some good interaction in the morning, so I'm covering almost same conditions, same discussions and topics. I've had good experience. I come from a government background, so I've worked a lot with the Government of India projects. I was given a charter to drive BFSI pre-COVID, and I have had a couple of learnings. And there are a lot of things that we see could be improved when it comes to protection and how we approach in banking today. Some statistics. There is no single person from a survey commits that he is confident of recovering his data. Due to technology, legacy reasons, there are very few who can actually see a lot of emerging trends causing disruptions, and which is where the data growth has to be managed, controlled, have to given, and the confidence level in getting them back to business is an eminent for today's need, which essentially leads us to a point that we experience data loss. Now, once that happens, there's a lot of stake, responsibility, there's a lot of risk associated with it, which is where Dell has a portfolio of product that just not gives you a proven as well as modern approach to how you can address and navigate some of the risk aspect associated with it. If you see what we've seen from why we call it proven as well as modern is because proven technology gives you more confidence in terms of reliability, the cost associated with it, and it has a lot of efficiency features, like if you can store 10 TB of data in 1 TB of space. While we bring in those efficiency, can those data be more reliable when it comes to recovery? Of course, which is where to prove a point that we just not bring innovative products to make efficient products, but give you something which is more reliable at scale. Why at scale? Because your data center footprints, your requirements for businesses is growing. So it should not be that you build silos and then manage it across the different product silos and make it more complex going forward in the future, because backup as product has to be maintained over life cycle of minimum 7 years and could be unlimited retention, which leads to a lot of data technology disruptions. Relating it to tape, it becomes nearly next to impossible if it's a 10-year-old tapes. And then you incur a lot of cost associated in, when it comes to getting to the new technology, getting to the new framework, getting to the disk-based approach, because the current data demands you to have more agile framework for it. That brings to me to the point that in a proven solution, performance is a key criteria because of the data growth. So if there has to be an intelligent mechanism to bring in right performance level, and it cannot only be derived out of, let's say, a product solution, but how we engineer or how we bring in those intelligence to perform recoveries at scale. And when we're talking about scale, it comes to flexibility. Can I do different granular level recovery? And these are the foundation of proven technologies. But the modern approach, when we move to cloud, we move to Kubernetes, we move to different OpenStack, different databases, these are inherent part, but no longer adapts to those changes. So the new norms for data protection is more to do with how we integrate well with cloud. Your new workloads has to be protected from cyber breaches and incidents. And at the same time, how do we automate well along with the rest of the products in your data center footprint? So can we define SLAs and govern your tools to perform as per that? Yes, certainly we can help you with that. The portfolio covers everything, right from the workload to any place it's been deployed. So what we've seen, it's a full spectrum that needs to be covered, and it has to be a uniform protection. When it comes to consumption models, we offer you all flavors of consumption. So you can buy it as a product, you can buy it as a service, you can buy it as a license agreement, you can use the services component or the cloud data protection sub offerings that we have, and it's branded as Apex. You don't own anything, you own it as a SaaS product from us, and you can still have the similar experience across the protection paradigm. It's not just that, we also have offerings where you can look at appliances, software, integrated appliance. So these are different flavors by which these products and services can be consumed today. Just to give a brief on what backup services are and offering Apex backup services, it's more to do with how you protect your SaaS applications, because most of the mailing solutions run in public cloud today. Is it the best way to protect it? Somewhat, yes. Is it more effective way or more simpler way of protection? Maybe not. So which is where we offer you SaaS-based protection for Exchange, Google Apps, as well as Salesforce. So irrespective of what applications you have, and at a lower cost. So than what you may be experiencing, with all the efficiency in terms of capacity, in terms of consumption, in terms of cost. Everything is brought down to the minimum using the tools and technologies we have. Endpoints, again, because of the extensive use of endpoints and people working from home, it becomes important. There are ways, like some of them could be shared NAS drives or sharing different endpoints between the users. So even the protection of those critical endpoints are important, at least for the higher management is what we've seen. We have, so this can also be consumed as a service under Apex, and the hybrid workload. So Dell has a complete SaaS-based model for your, let's say, test, dev, other workloads, on and off protection that you want to have for your on-prem workloads on servers. Some of the new innovations that we have today are around VMware, and these are certainly differentiating factors for us, is more to do with VMware backups, large VMs backup. VM sprawl, which is running into hundreds and thousands, cause a lot of backup related issues when it comes to right amount of protection. And large VMs, when I'm saying large VMs, we've seen VMs as large as 50 terabyte. UPI growing so much that practically protecting it is next to impossible, which is where we have engineered with VMware to bring out an offering which is called transparent snapshots. So unlike in the past where the early 2003, the only way to backup was ingest, then it became VADP, which was more of a proxy aligned solution. This is a proxy-less environment that gives you native integration with vCenter to provide better performance as well as VMware latency. So here you will not see a VM stun. And this is natively out of the box. It is unique to Dell. If you experience anything related to VMware, large VM backups or VM stuns, we can help you address those challenges. The other, which is the most critical aspects as we move into a hybrid model, is how do we keep the data more secured to make it more reliable. From a backup point of view, cyber recovery is more to do with how you be more resilient and ready for restores if you are breached. And there is no threat, because of the changing threat landscape, it's important to have an approach which is adopted or predefined by NIST, and which is what we follow in building that hygiene into the systems and the environment that you have. So what we follow a principle called isolated, which means you should have an air-gapped copy of the data away from the network in a separate environment, just like you do an offline copy of tapes. You do disk to disk, and we follow the same principle. Immutability, again, is more to do with, because warm has become immutable, and immutable is quite different than warm. It's quite misrepresented at times. So immutability is what we bring, and we have a unique proposition there. It means not just preserve the entity, it's no more about read and write, it's also helping you navigate data destruction. And NFS or CIFS or other way of storing data is not the right way of keeping the ransomware or secure free data in your environments, which is where immutability becomes important. While we have a copy of data which is helping us to manage risk associated with cyber attacks, it's also imminent to have intelligent methods, which is AI-driven, statistical tool that will give you intelligence around your data which is being protected, as these ransomware attacks takes longer. And these attacks are actually pre-planned. It takes longer than what we see, because it's generally, in our experience, we've come to know that it takes about 6 to 9 months. So an intelligent way of, let's say, scanning those files will help identify, create a clean copy, and restore the right good copy to continue to run business. This is more of a process-driven approach. It's not a product or a solution that will help us achieve that. It's more of identifying the right workload and assets that needs to have these protection, and plan the SOPs that will help us achieve those or navigate through such incidents. So that's pretty much that I have, and Dell as today has an offering across the portfolio. Any backup related, any protection challenges other than the portfolio that we carry, we certainly have a value addition there. We'll be more than happy to engage in any such opportunity. It's not that everything needs to be replaced to adopt to a Dell Technologies, because we are vendor neutral, open. You can run any software today, still have these confidence of reliability and performance out of the systems that we have. These are efficient systems, they are cloud integrated, so your cloud cost in terms of long-term retention can be reduced drastically if you use our stack. It's fully functional, large banks are using it. When it comes to our solution, almost 6 out of 10 banks in the country today, because of the data growth and the SLA requirements, some of them have even moved to a cloudless, tapeless journey, hosting it in the private cloud, and we are seamlessly building the SLAs, the SOPs. Along with the product, we also have services to manage this across the life cycle. So thank you very much. And
some questions you want to take, sir?
Yeah, sure, if there are.
So if you have any questions, please raise the hand. We will come with the microphone. Or we can take it off.
Yep, sure. Thank you.